May 21st, 2016, IMS Academy. We are back again. We got Nighthawk on top, Seth on the bottom. And here we go. He starts in side control, but doesn't hold it very long. As we start moving and scrambling, we are in a weird position here. Position is never really secured unless you got your opponent's shoulders and back to the mat. But I kind of drag him down there. As he tries to take the mount position, I stay small. He goes to attack my leg. I just scoot out, take his back, have a single hook in. Now it's tough to see what we're doing, but the mirror really helps in this position. So you can see I don't have a tight back position yet as we're hand fighting. And even with a single hook, because I have my left arm cradled around his neck, and he's not able to turn all the way down as long as I control that right wrist of his. So when he tries to turn his right knee down, all I have to do is just control that. And there he is. He tries to turn it down. You see I'm controlling that wrist. I drag him right back down. And now once I get that arm around the neck, this is the only way I'm able to finish with just a single hook. And I start to get a rear naked choke position. He can use the mirror and see what I'm doing here. And as I am not able to get the full rear naked choke, you just use that progression to go from the rear naked to the short choke. Put your hips into it as you're finishing. Use your whole body. Don't just squeeze with your arms. And get the finish. Side control again. He just starts a short little Japanese necktie. I'm posting off the hips, using my forearms, and quick little scramble position. He's going for a shovel pass here, and you can see I have an underhook on his left arm. As he tries to pass, I just go with it this time instead of trying to fight it and turn into him. And I'm able to get to my feet. I keep my left elbow tucked so he's unable to take my back. He tries to reshoot and wasn't able to keep the pressure on, so Andrew starts on his back. I'm going to give him a little advantage here, starting his guard instead of top side control, and let him get some work here. Immediately Andrew gets the foot on the hip. Feet on the hip are never good. And he gets an overhook on me, and he's able to keep that on the mat. Now if you watch my left arm and my left knee, I like to bring it together so I can check his right leg. If I can check that right leg and I can keep pressure on that the whole time, it's going to not really allow him to get that over to start setting up the triangle, as I got my right arm free from the overhook. And now I can start building up my base, and then I'll build up my posture. He's trying to work that overhook again. I'm keeping him center as I get him in a can opener position. He tries the butterfly hook, and I'm able to just create enough space. And here we are, we're scrambling. Now use the mirror here to kind of see what we're doing. He's got butterfly hooks on me, and he tries to use that to manipulate my balance. But you see I have a long grip around his neck, and I use that to kind of keep his hips closed so he's not able to open up those hips and explode from those butterfly hooks and extend me. Now look at me push both of his knees down to the mat. I'm always very adamant. Topple the mountains. The mountains are his knees when they're pointing straight up. It's very hard to pass. Guys can go left and right. But if you put them both down on the mat, it's easy to get. It's much easier to get around. Not always a guarantee, but it's really good here. Now when I smash on the mount, you can kind of see there's no space or daylight in between us, so it's very good during your transitions. You stay small. Now as Andrew's starting to build a base here, I need to keep my hips as I turn. Now he knows I'm going for an arm bar here, and his defense is super good. So as I turn and I release the head, he's already starting to defend. He pops up, very good posture. I push him off. He's kind of thinking what to do here. You can't think. You just got to get on your opponent and start moving. And that second allowed me just to sit up and through, get my legs behind me, drive through, catch his legs. Even if he controls my head, if I have your legs, you're going for a ride, you're going to be on your back. And that's where he is now. Again, here we are, we're grinding. We're just in this quarter guard position. I go for the leg here, and as I miss the leg attempt, Andrew gets head arm position. But then, instead of being able to finish it, I get a quick underhook that stops it. And here I go. I spin around for the almost like if I'm going for the legs. Yeah, I'm just creating movement here. I'm able to catch the center choke position. Andrew sacrifices position, goes back down into half guard so he doesn't get choked, but puts his shoulders back on the mat, and then I'm able to get back to a mount position. Here we are, it's a constant grind. Andrew right here is, I'm just going to cook him as much as I can. The submission defense is very good. You know, he's seen all my attempts. I never get the first one on him. It's very tough for I have to keep working and working and working until he either makes a mistake and gives me something, or I can catch in a transition. He almost gives me his back there, but I didn't have any kind of underhooks to secure it. Again, we're hand fighting. You can see in the mirror I use a lot of cross facing. Now, cross facing is key because it's going to allow your opponent's elbows to raise up, and he's going to want to fight those hands off because it's just uncomfortable. But you know, the more times, especially a guy like Andrew that's been in this position, I really have to cross face the shit out of him, just because he's been there so much and he's so tough now. Like, just look at that. I'm just putting cross faces on him, and he's taking it. He's taking it, and he's just disciplined. He's not putting those arms up. But again, which position would you rather be in? His position or my position? So don't get frustrated on your subs. I'm able to get that leg up, and look, I'm starting to set up to see if I can isolate a head and arm in the one position. Again, he knows what's happening. He's able to get fish arm, both arms through, so either both in or both out. He does a good job there of stopping the submission attempt. But I'm not going to stop working. You know, I've got top position, and it's part of problem solving. You know, some people, the puzzle is very easy. It's an elementary puzzle, and other people it's advanced adult puzzle that it's tough. And especially Andrew, he's a BJJ purple belt, but I would say that he's got at least brown belt defense. I mean, it's solid. Again, side control. Look at him keeping his head down. This was something I'm always really easy to be able to hook his head with my leg and be able to isolate that far arm, but he's being disciplined with his posture here from the bottom position, doing a really good job. I'm fishing for those elbows, trying to get something going, and again, I'm just cooking. Look at me, just even if you're not using your forearms, use your lower body, use your shins, and use those to kind of grind on your opponent as well. Now, I almost get that hook in, and he thinks about standing up, and now he's going to think better about it, so he doesn't go for a ride. I don't hook in, but you see with my right leg, I check the hip, I sit in, and now I'm kind of cradling his head right into my knee, into his guts, into that soft spot. Here we go. I switch from a head arm into a Japanese necktie position, and if you look in the mirror, we're just having a foot battle. He's trying to clear his feet, and I'm using my other leg. I finally get his foot, I get my leg secured, I'm able to turn posture in, get the Japanese necktie. And that was a good long roll number one. Good job, Andrew.